All right, you guys, before we get into this week's Sorry If I Offend You podcast, I did want to let you know it is going to be a full A.S.M.R audio recording for those of you who are listening on audio, and then I will release the video on YouTube. So please go to my YouTube, Sorry If I Offend You podcast, and go ahead and subscribe. But without further ado, this is the very first ASMR episode of Sorry If I Offend You. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Sorry If I Offend You podcast ASMR. This week we're trying something different, something that I'm into. I really like ASMR. It helps me go to sleep. So I'm hoping to recreate some tingles that I like. So first I want to start off with some of my favorite tingles. And I have me a glass of wine because every episode I have a glass of wine. So those of you who are listening on audio, I hope you really enjoy this. Those of you who are listening on YouTube, cheers. This week I want to talk about Euphoria. I like to give my opinion on a lot of things, but I specifically want to talk about how some of the characters in Euphoria are realistic to high school, and some aren't. Things that you might actually experience. I actually talk with one of my really close friends, and we were discussing whether Euphoria characters seem like they might be realistic or if it was even possible because they're almost too grown for high school. They go through a lot of shit that I just think that a lot of people would, but you know what? I'm gonna rate what is realistic and what's not. But before that, a bit of ASMR. These are some glasses that I got for Christmas. I'm gonna show y'all. And those of you who can't see me, you gotta hit the YouTube. They're not my usual glasses, but my best friend got them for me, so you know, fuck it. Do I look cool? Yes, so back to it. Back to Euphoria and shit. Yeah, so I'd say the most believable character, in my opinion, and we're going off main characters because we don't have time to bullshit. I think the most realistic character on Euphoria, which is a wild show to say the least, would be Cassie. I think that everybody has met a Cassie. Everybody has met in high school. And if you're still in high school, you probably know a Cassie. Cassie is the type of girl to be popular because of what she looks like. She may seem nice, but she's easily convinced to fuck everybody on the football team. Or even, you know, she might have a boyfriend, but she's messed with a lot of people, or pictures have gone around about her. And if you're out of high school, you've known a girl whose pictures have gotten spread around. I always grew up knowing not to send pictures, and I don't think I was sending pictures in high school, but you know, it is what it is. The 16-year-olds nowadays act fucking 25. But yeah, so I think Cassie is probably the most realistic to have come across in high school, for sure. Then we have next up my absolute favorite character, who would be none other than Maddie. Maddie is a complex character. She So, yeah, I feel like Maddie is a lovable character because we all see her cool, external, wears what she wants. Crazy outfits and makeup styles and think, oh, everybody wants to be her. But then you see what her at-home life might be like, and some people may be able to relate, and some people might not. But Maddie is definitely one of those type of characters that is very, very loving and very, very hard to kind of get close to because she doesn't put up with bullshit except for Nate. Thankfully, she's done with that shit now, and if you haven't caught up on Euphoria, please catch up because we're not gonna see another episode for I think 2 years. That shit is heartbreaking. Yeah, no. I'd say the next very realistic character, honestly, would be Lexi. Lexi might be my other favorite. The only thing about Lexi that sucks is that she gets overshadowed until the very end of Euphoria. But I think that in this next season to come, Lexi's gonna play a very, very key role in Euphoria. I hope you guys are liking this episode. Maybe I'll bring on a famous A.S.M.R YouTuber as a guest, so it'd be a little bit, official. Yes, but I really like Lexi. Lexi's the innocent sister. Lexi's the loyal cast member. And also, Lexi has the most hidden talent. Oh, and also, Fez loves Lexi. And I love Fez. So I fuck with the whole Lexi and Fez thing. But I'm interested to see. Interested to see how they play out what happens next with Fez. Now, Lexi's the quiet girl in school. The girl who's into theater, was always the school drug dealer, you know, the one everybody fucked with, but knew they could cop drugs from, and shit was cool. I'd say the most unrealistic part of Euphoria when it came to Fez's life was Ashtray. Now, him having a little brother that he took care of, not unrealistic, but his little brother being a murderer and running around at the age of like 11 or 12, very unrealistic. That's how you know it's a show. But we all love us some Ashtray, right? Now, Ashtray. I'm gonna bring back my book sounds. This time, it's a different book. I got this book from a friend, one of my close friends, for a wedding, bridal shower gift. I love when I listen to A.S.M.R and I hear the pages turn. It makes me feel like I'm reading when I know I'm not. But you should read. Back to the characters. Ashtray is not realistic in the story at all. Unfortunately, as much as we love his character, it's not realistic. It's too strong of a character for a young child to have been. But you know, maybe possibly if you're a mobster or some shit, that might be your son. I don't know. I really love different tapping sounds in A.S.M.R. It pleases me. I really hope that you guys think I'm doing a good job. And if I'm not, fuck it. It's too late. I'd say another unrealistic part of Euphoria, and I actually came to this conclusion with my best friend, is Kat. Not necessarily Kat's character, because Kat's character is very believable. Someone who's not sure of themselves, who's a little bit insecure, and you know, ends up finding somebody and kind of risk that because they deserve it. So the thing that's unbelievable about Kat is her being a dominatrix. Or is that what you call him? I think that's what she is. Whatever. A video girl. A video girl. But yeah, her being a video girl is not very realistic at her age. Or at least, I don't know anyone in high school that did that. Maybe my high school was boring, but I didn't know anyone who was like that. Now let's get into who you guys really want to talk about. Maybe two characters, but first we're gonna talk Jules. Jules. I like Jules. I do. But I personally never came across someone like Jules in high school. Now, there's nothing wrong with Jules. Jules is a beautiful girl. But what I didn't realize was that Jules was actually transgender for a long time when I watched season 1. I actually didn't realize until season 2. Crazy enough. was told by a friend, and then I watched the episodes over again, and I was like, oh shit, she is. But cool, that's, good for her. And it's beautiful to see that they are bringing transgender women into lots of shows and movies. It's nice. But in high school, I never knew anyone that was transgender. I just knew people who were homosexual, or better, I don't know, girls that like girls, guys that like guys. I never knew any transgender, but I'm 26, and I feel like this is something that is just becoming widely accepted and even talked about in school. Which I think is needed. Now, that's not the part about Jules that's unbelievable. It's her fucking grown ass men. That's crazy. And it's Cal for me. It's crazy because I watched Grey's Anatomy, and I fucking loved Cal's character on Grey's Anatomy. His nickname was McSteamy, and let me tell you, Euphoria changed my mind about him a little bit. Have you ever watched a show or a movie that makes you be like, not really like the character anymore, or you associate the character as like real life characteristics, like Taraji P. Henson, for example? I honestly always think she's a crackhead. I don't know why. It seems that she's always stressed or sweating in every role she plays. Except for, I think it's Think Like a Man. I'm gonna eat these fruit snacks after. So yes, Jules' character is hard for me to believe that would be someone who, we experience in high school, or I would have come across in high school. Someone realistic again would be the least honorable mention. One of the characters in other words, hate. Nate. I do not like Nate's character. Nate's character drives me crazy. point, you almost feel bad for him. And then you remember he's a fucking dickhead. And that sometimes most of the things that happen to him, he brings on. Now, I want to finish this episode off with my most favorite character that I felt like needed to be mentioned. I'd say it was Rue. Now, I didn't know any full-on drug addicts in high school. And Rue is a drug addict. There's numerous people that enable her. But I have met lots of depressed kids in high school, and I think Rue compares the most to someone who was really depressed in high school and felt like something traumatic that happened to them, or the loss of someone that they really loved kind of ate their personality and changed them forever. And I witnessed that in school for sure. And I witnessed alcoholism, and the overuse of like getting high. I didn't really know that many people that did drugs until college, like hard drugs or whatever. Also a lot more accessible in college. But yes, Rue's character was very sad because Rue was almost everyone's favorite until her dad died, and no one knew how to comfort her, not even her mother. I think that, shows like Euphoria or 13 Reasons, if you haven't seen 13 Reasons, that's another one that's kind of like adult high school, and I think it's Gen Z, Gen X, some shit like that on HBO, or I will get the name, but I'll put it in the bio on my YouTube, and I will put it in the info on the audio podcast. I personally enjoy these shows because people are growing up very quickly, but I also think that sometimes these shows can make kids think this is how they should be, this is how they should act, and I don't believe in them. I think that kids, especially high school, enjoy that you're a kid still, because once you grow up too fast, there's no going back. But nonetheless, it's a great show. No matter at what age you're at, you can relate to the show because, like I said, they act like more adult-like. But there are a few shows that are just like it. It gives me Degrassi, but Degrassi still had a level